What is up, everybody? It is your boy Matt Turner back again, and yes, my voice did change again. I am once again trying to make sure that I am talking with my chest voice and everything of that nature, so it'll probably go up and down throughout this video. Real quick, go ahead and give this video a thumbs up, share the video, subscribe if you haven't already subscribed, hit the bell notification so you can stay up to date on when I post videos. I try to post at least once or twice a week where I document my journey as a trans man and just talk about, you know, things that I'm going through, fitness and such jazz. But this video is going to be kind of an update slash explanation, answering a question that I got in the past about bottom surgery, my intentions with that, where I currently am, that fun jazz. So yeah, we're gonna get right into it. Before we get too much farther into this, I do want to place a disclaimer because of the nature of bottom surgery. I will be using a lot of terminology that is the proper definition for prenatal and assigned female at birth anatomy, so just be aware of that going forward. If that is not your thing, I would click off now, because I'm not like going to be I'm not trying to hide any of my language or any of that nature, but yes, trigger warning. So bottom surgery, for those of you who do not know, bottom surgery is usually a overall collective term used for hysterectomies, mitoplasty and phalloplasty. I'm not gonna go too deep into details on what each of those actually is. There are a lot of resources out on the internet, on YouTube, where you can look up those, and they will be much better at explaining it than I will. So we're not even gonna get into that. But right now, currently in my current stage, I am still in the planning stage of my bottom surgery. I do have doctors that I want to have my surgery performed with, and I am currently working towards actually getting consultations with those individuals. So for instance, right now, I'm not gonna say the name of my hysterectomy doctor, just because I feel like that's giving out a little bit too much information. But just do know that they are in state. I didn't feel like going out of state for a hysterectomy. Like, almost anybody could do that. And originally I was almost planning to have my hysterectomy done by the same healthcare organization. For those of you who don't know, healthcare organizations are basically just kind of like John Hopkins, specifically, that's the one I'm talking about, Emory, the even small entities such as the Gender Confirmation Center are considered healthcare organizations. But I wasn't originally going to have my hysterectomy done with the same organization. However, I figured that was probably going to be a little too much work, so I am planning on having that done in state, and I am actually scheduled for a consultation later this year. So hopefully within the near future, that will all be figured and planned out. I'm hoping to have my hysterectomy done at least several months ahead of my phalloplasty, which is what I plan to get, just because I want to have been healed. I want to be able to get back into fitness and get some good gains and such with that before I have to go back into recovery. So I do have a little bit of thought inside of why I'm scheduling things a certain way. One of those is also a big reason with my insurance. I'm currently on my dad's insurance, and I only have a few more years before I'm kicked off of that insurance. So for me, it feels like a time pressure. However, that's not to say that I couldn't go and find another insurance that would be able to provide the same things. It's just that this is the insurance I know, it's the one I'm used to. So I'm just trying to work within the time span that I have, but everything is completely flexible. But yes, hysterectomy later this year. What exactly am I trying to get done with my hysterectomy? None of these things are set completely in stone, but right now I am planning to have my tubes and my uterus removed, and I'm not entirely sure if I want my cervix removed, but it is a thought. I'm kind of the mind that, like, because I don't have too much dysphoria surrounding it, I don't want to take out more than I actually have to. So I'm only taking out the necessary things that I feel are necessary to me. Specifically, I am doing everything, because some things are, well, not everything, but some things are a requirement for phalloplasty depending on where you go, but also I'm not gonna use it, so I just want to go on. So yeah, but my cervix is a possibility just because of cervix cancer. Ovaries, I am thinking right now I might keep either both of my ovaries. I will for a fact be keeping one just because I do want that natural ability to create estrogen, just in case for whatever reason something does go wrong and I do not have access to testosterone anymore. I'm not going to be forced to go to some kind of supplement. So I am keeping either one or both of my ovaries. The type of hysterectomy that I want performed, in terms of, is it laparoscopic and things of that nature, I'm not entirely sure. I am trying to go for as minimal scarring as possible. So I will actually either be trying to go for a vaginal hysterectomy where they just take it out through the canal, or I will try and get laparoscopic where they make the 3 incisions. So we will see. Nothing, like I said, nothing is set in stone just because I haven't had my consult yet. These are just kind of the things that I'm thinking about, and where I currently am standing. So that's that's my hysterectomy idea right now. Phalloplasty. Right now, I know there are multiple different types of phalloplasty that can be done. For those of you who might be wondering why phalloplasty over mitoplasty, phalloplasty for me, I want length and size and girth, and that's just something that mitoplasty will not give me. I honestly wouldn't personally be comfortable with mitoplasty. I think it would probably make me more aware of my disconnect to my bottom portion. So phalloplasty is the way to go for me if I decide to follow through, period, with phalloplasty at all, assuming that financial situations and everything plan out. So yes, mitoplasty, So yes, phalloplasty is what I plan to have done. Of the phalloplasties, right now, the top of my list is RFF, just because that is going to give me the most sensation. I do want to be mindful, while for all intents and purposes, girth and length is important to me, sensation also holds a high value, and they can collect more nerves from your forearm, which is what is usually used for RFF. So that is why I'm going with RFF, because I want sensation. And from what I've gathered from other people, when I've compared my forearm length and my wrist size, I can get roughly the length that I want, which is anywhere from 5.5 to 6 inches. So yes, there's that. I can't give you guys actual estimates on my length. Well, actually, hold on one second. I got this. My mom is a seamstress, so it helps that she does stuff like that. Real quickly, getting the measurement for you guys. So right up to the actual elbow crease of my arm, that is not the full length that they will actually be taking. Just disclaimer, that is 10 inches. So I would roughly have about 6 inches of access because they only take up to about a certain blood vein. So I would have about 6 inches. Hopefully that they can use. That also is completely reliant on blood supply and a whole lot of other factors. Girth, I do know my wrist is about actually like 5.5 to 6 inches around. I do remember that because I was very astonished by that. So those are my measurements if you guys are interested. So yes, I want length, girth, and sensation. Those are all equally important to me, so RFF is the way to go. If for whatever reason RFF is not a possibility, like at all, both arms for whatever reason just can't be done, ALT is my next runner-up, just because I'd be willing to go through the debulking and everything like that. The other ones, I have heard of abdominoplasty. That one's just not as appealing to me. The one that uses your lat, I'm not quite sure of the name of that one, but that one doesn't necessarily appeal to me as well, because I am also thinking in terms of scarring. And for me, those two scars just aren't really worth it. But yes, that's what I'm at right now. What all will I be willing to get done? I'm actually planning myself to have everything but possibly the penile implant done and a vagicotomy. So those are the two things that I actually do not want done just yet. The only one that I for sure do not want done is the vagicotomy. I just don't see the reason for it. Also, I kind of enjoy having it, so there's that. You never know. You never know. But yes, I will not be having that done. I do want urethra lengthening, UL. Scrotoplasty is also very important to me, glandplasty. And of course, all of this is just hypothetical and just my current planning. And like all best case scenarios, things can go wrong at different points, and I'm completely flexible on that, which I think is something that you have to be if you do want to have phalloplasty done. Is you need to understand that not everything's gonna go exactly the way that you're planning it, and if for whatever reason hiccups do come, you're able to kind of like roll with the punches, or at the very least be willing to accept the fact that you might be not able to have certain things, or you're sacrificing certain things, or things may not exactly heal exactly the way that you want them to. And I've kind of gotten to the point where I've accepted all that. For me, the doctors, enough of that, let's move to doctors. So I am going based off of doctors that are within my network. Thankfully, that is actually quite a bit of doctors. For those of you who don't know, I have Blue Cross Blue Shield, and as a PPO, they have an extremely large amount of doctors within their network. Some of them were the best. For instance, Dr. Scott Mosser was within my network. I just fucked up and did not have my insurance shit together in order to have it covered. But right now, the doctor that is the top of my list, I say very, very loosely right now, just because I am learning more and more information about him, and so he's he's tentatively topped. If for whatever reason more information comes out about his practices in the future or whatnot, I feel more than comfortable changing him to any of the other doctors that I have currently in mind. But finally, let's reveal the doctors. Right now, my top pick is Devin O'Brien Kuhn with the Johns Hopkins Transgender Center Clinic in Baltimore, Maryland. He's my primary. So of the doctors that I'm going to list, all of them have very, very somewhat similar techniques and practices and stagings. I'll say staging for me is not necessarily that big of a concern. I think doctors have, just like artists have certain styles, doctors have certain styles, and part of that is the staging. I am very flexible with staging. I think you need to be able to be flexible with staging. So I am. But his staging is, he does 3 stages, technically more like 4. So I don't want to get these messed up, so I'm going to read them off to you guys. So the first stage is where they will do the creation of the penis, and they will take the skin graft a few weeks afterwards. The second stage, which is done approximately 5 to 6 months later, includes the UL, the scrotum, and if I decide the vagicotomy, but that's not something that I'm going to do. And then finally, the last stage is when they will do the testicular implants and the erectile prosthetics. This was all taken directly from their website, so feel free to go look at it. The website is hopkinsmedicine.org, and you can just scroll through and find their FAQ page and see what's going on. So that is my first pick, and I picked him specifically because while looking through TransBucket, Reddit, all of these fun jazz, I felt that he provided and was willing to take a little bit more risk when it comes to length. You'll see actually that a few of my other doctors, specifically my second runner-up doctor, they prefer to take a more cautionary stance when it comes to length, because the longer you are, the more possible complications you can have and things of that nature. But he had the ideal length that I wanted, and he was obviously in network. B, the results that I saw on TransBucket were kind of the more ideal image that I had in mind. Obviously, people get medical tattooing done, which is also something that I plan to have done. So there is that definitely for sure to take into account when looking at pictures on TransBucket. Take into account that some people do have medical tattooing done. Yes, the second doctor that I currently am looking at is Dr. Mong Chen. He's very well known. His reputation speaks for himself. He's more of just kind of, he has good, the people I've seen, he's done good work. I love the work that he has done. The only thing that I don't like about him is that he is a little bit more conservative when it comes to length. That is literally the only thing that puts him slightly below OBC, as we call him, O'Brien Kuhn. The last doctor currently on my list is Dr. Crane. Any of the doctors from the Crane Center are currently on my list, just because I'm willing to travel. One's in San Francisco, Mong's in San Francisco. And then there's one in Texas, which is a little bit closer. So those are the 3 doctors that I am currently looking at. I'm very open still to suggestions and different doctors. For instance, I got a different one, Dr. Blue Blood. I'm pretty sure that is not her name. I will put all the doctors that I'm currently looking at below. Again, none of these doctors are permanent because I don't even know what the quote for these guys are going to be. Even if my insurance covers them, all of them are going to have different quotes, and that will factor how much I have to pay out of pocket for them. So yes, that is the other thing that I'm trying to do, is I'm trying to line up my hysterectomy and my phalloplasty surgery so that I can pay as much out of pocket for my hysterectomy, so that I max out my out of pocket with my insurance, so that I don't have to pay anything for my phalloplasty. I have heard that this has been done before, so it is something that I'm researching into that I can possibly do. That is definitely much better than paying any amount of $50,000 that I'm sure it will cost me to have phalloplasty. Again, though, my timeline for all of this is like within like the next 2 years. That seems very, very quick. But I'm not actually looking to have my phalloplasty until like 2024. Honestly, I just got out of top surgery. I'm already planning my hysterectomy. I'm just trying to I want to sit inside the recovery time periods as long as possible before it is truly necessary for me to go back in for another surgery. It's not like this is a race or anything like that. I'm taking my time with it. So yeah, that's where I currently am with my phalloplasty journey and my bottom surgery as a whole. One thing that I forgot to mention actually is I am currently in the works of having a consultation set up for phalloplasty with OBC. So that is something that is going to happen. I don't expect to have that anytime soon. At the earliest, I'm expecting that next year, because he is one of the more well-known doctors now. So he does have a wait list, of which works perfectly fine for me because I'm still working on my hysterectomy. But yes, that's all I have, guys. That's where I am right now, honestly. If you did like this video, please give it a thumbs up, share it with your friends, subscribe, hit the bell notification button so you can stay up to date when I post videos. I'm running against the timer right now and my dying battery, so that's why I'm going quickly. But as usual, you guys, it is your boy Matt Turner. If you have any questions, leave them down in the comment section down below. I hope you guys have a great morning, evening, day, or night, wherever you are, and I will see you guys next time.